With Planning Board member Martin Jacobs stepping down this year, Needham residents will be looking to choose from 3 candidates to fill this 5-year term seat on April 12th. Planning Board is responsible for guiding the physical growth and development in Needham, as many issues including affordable housing, community space, and downtown area development rise up in recent years. Residents are eager to learn about each candidate's view before casting their vote. Municipal Producer Yuxiao Yuan tells us about the 3 candidates.
R.D. Crocker serves on the Community Preservation Committee, Needham Conservation Commission, and the Climate Action Plan Committee. He's also a town meeting member. R.D. said he wants to focus on energy-resilient and efficient buildings, affordable housing, and open communication.
I do not believe planning board members should be involved in any project with a developer out of the public's eye, except for a couple of pointed questions on process and legality. Because sometimes, a lot of time can be saved by a few questions, but they're not supposed to be part of the developer's plan.
Justin Mccullum volunteers for the Needham Transportation Committee and the Traffic Management Advisory Committee. He's also a town meeting member and was recently appointed to the town's Transportation Planning and Review Committee. Mccullum said he wants to improve public engagement and enhance consensus building during the development process.
Public comment is really important, and giving someone the respect of being heard. You may not be able to give them what they want in the end, and may not agree with that, but certainly you heard them. I want to kind of bring that to the planning board, as I think it's an opportunity that I think we can do better with, and probably would have done better in the past.
Oscar Mertz is a 34-year architect and currently serves on the Needham Housing Plan Working Group, which is charged with studying and addressing housing needs in town. Mertz said he's interested in diversifying housing types and visualizing zoning proposals.
There are ways to do that. I've done that professionally, where a township in New Jersey, we took a 175-acre site and we created 3 ways that site could be developed. And so different ways the streets could be configured, different ways the housing or the downtown or the main street or the different sizes of housing, where the parking goes. How do you make a dynamic set of neighborhoods? How does that go together? And you show 3 ideas. There's something good about creating a vision that more people can understand. So when you come and propose on something, there's already a sense of where we want to go.
At the League of Women Voters Candidates Night on March 28th, the 3 candidates responded to many questions raised by the audience. One resident in attendance asked whether the planning board should change the amount of single-family zoning in Needham. All the candidates were in favor of expanding multifamily units after the town decides how to comply with the state's multifamily zoning requirement for MBTA communities.
How much is that going to change? I'm not certain, but we know there's something coming down the line. Am I in favor of making single-family housing or taking away from the rest of the town? No, I'm not. No, I'm simply not. I mean, I grew up in this town. We're a town. We're a community. We can do better than what we're doing. I believe in multi-generational living and reducing ADU restrictions, but that's as far as I go.
From what I've read, is meeting the draft guideline standard is possible. It would require moderate increases of density, in the general residence area. We already have 14 acres out of the 150 acres that already meet the definition of the MBTA standard. So we can look and seeing, where we can go along the corridor, and perhaps this isn't as awful as some other cities and towns are making it out to be.
There's some inevitable adjusting to some of that zoning, but the general question about whether you change to single family to 2 family is a question that we really need to address as a community, and you'd like to see that that's going to come from the state, that there's going to be a commitment that we're going to take that on as a move. California has done it, but I think it's something that requires state leadership for us to do that.
An audience member also asked if Needham should lift the occupancy restrictions for the accessory dwelling units, which currently are limited to family members and caregivers.
We need to be vigilant about what we do. We can't have the Wild West. We can't have structures too close together. There's fire issues. There's also displacement issues from water table. There's environmental implications for just allowing structures on. So we do need to be very cognizant of what we're allowing, but I think that should be reviewed and to open up to additional use cases rather than the 2 per month that we do now.
I do know people are concerned a little bit about the possibility that they could be used as short-term rentals. So you would have to, we could potentially put some limits on the rental length. But I think the ability for these to become in the market is huge. It's also the enforcement that you would remove, because you wouldn't have to worry about going back and checking that if this is sold to someone, then you have to go back and make sure that they're going to sign the agreement. So I think it does simplify our administration of them to have the residency restriction removed. And I do think there are small numbers, but I think it would be a huge component of the small residential units that we really need in town.
I am a huge believer in multi-generational living. And usually what that means is multi-generational living within the same household. If reducing the restrictions in ADUs makes that happen, so someone can stay in their house and rent out the other part of the house, or vice versa, or something like that, with family members, anything to reduce or to increase the possibility of multi-generational living and aging in place.
To learn more about the three candidates' priorities and views on certain issues, go to needhamchannel.org to watch the Needham Channel's Metro Planning Board candidates and the League of Women Voters Candidates Night. For the Needham Channel News, I'm Yuxiao Yuan.